Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video, doing GMA Friday for today's video. So as was on a Friday, have a look at the weather for the month ahead with Japanese and CFS V2 models that takes us into the middle of September. I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say about the first video released today was our 7 AM forecast. Actually, it was a 6 AM forecast today. Just testing out different times to release. And also, we've had a look at the bank holiday weekend as well. So it looks like I have a lot of high pressure for this coming bank holiday weekend. Check that one out if you'd like to do that. I'm going to have a 10 to 14 day with all our break features coming up for you later on this afternoon. Please like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. I hope you're having a lovely Friday as well. Right, so I'll have a look at the JMA week 1 500 millibar height anomaly to start us. I'll just say that these are broken down to weekly periods. So the first weekly period will take us from the 20th, 27th of August. Yellow, orange, and red extrapolate to above average heights, which is high pressure. Blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. So you can see it in the week ahead. Of course, this is the North Pole and Arctic view down. Right, so you can see that in week ahead, we've got high pressure dominating, sitting over slightly to the north of the country. That's going to be bringing in quite a warm east-southeasterly wind. So it should be mostly dry and fine, really, in the week ahead with the high pressure well and truly in the ascendancy, bringing plenty of dry weather. Week 2 will be the 27th of August to the 3rd of September. A bit of a change as high pressure starts to pull out to our north and northwest, and some below average heights low pressure begins to develop from the south. So this looks like it could be a bit of a breakdown week. We might be starting to see more in the way of rain, maybe even thunder coming into more southern areas. The weather just generally getting a little bit more unsettled perhaps as we end August and begin September. Then go through to weeks 3 and 4, which takes us from the 3rd through to the 17th of September, and we're looking unsettled with below average heights into the UK and Ireland from off the Atlantic. Looks like bring the jet stream through around there. So yeah, just looking generally quite unsettled through the first half of September with plenty of rain, if that is right. I would have thought as low pressure comes in off the Atlantic. That's a 2-weekly anomaly as well. So that's a strong signal for like weeks 3 and 4. Normally the signal, you know, is not as strong during the 2-weekly anomaly. There may be like a bit of a transitional period going on, but I think that actually happens in week 2, and so weeks 3 and 4 look quite unsettled there. Let's have a look at tropical and mid-latitude view. So with this, the Arctic, North Pole, Greenland, Scandinavia, all off the chart up here. However, we've had a look at that view down, so we know what's going on. The UK and Ireland in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you are looking at it. So, reminder of the week 1, 500 millibar height anomaly, with high pressure sitting more or less over the top of the country, should bring a lot of dry weather in the week ahead from the 20th to the 27th of August. Temperature anomalies are warmer than average through the UK and Ireland. We have above average temperatures going on. Still a bit unsettled actually, and maybe surprisingly so. You would have thought about high pressure ridging in across the country, and certainly to our sort of east-northeast, it would be dry, but actually the model is going for slightly above average rainfall. All I can think that explains that is that we are going to have quite a wet weekend coming up, which perhaps for the overall 7-day anomaly might, you know, get a lot of rain on Saturday and thunderstorms perhaps. We might skew the anomaly for the week, but overall I would have thought week 1 should be a little bit drier than that. Week 2 looks like this. So we take high pressure away to our northwest, then the high pressure begins to migrate into the North Atlantic. Lower pressure is developing to our south, and that's probably starting to bring a breakdown into more southern parts of the country. The temperature anomaly is lowering as we go into week 2. So to our west and south, actually, it's a bit cooler than average. We're near normal with the temperature anomaly generally. And this week's not as unsettled. You would have thought this is a more unsettled week in the south, but actually this is slightly drier week. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with the precipitation anomalies this week with the JMA. It does look a little bit wetter though across many parts of the continent. And then we're into weeks 3 and 4, which of course is the first half of September, basically the 3rd to the 17th of September. And we're just bringing below average heights low pressure in off the Atlantic then. So temperature anomalies continue to look relatively cool, certainly not much better than average. Into our west and south, it's a bit cooler than average. And this is a more unsettled couple of weeks as well. So the first half of September perhaps shaping up to be quite wet, which would be a little bit of a surprise. We haven't had a wet September for quite some time. But there we go, that's what the model's showing. Anyway, quite a wet first half to September. Right, let's see how the CFS V2 compares. So again, these are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods, and the first week period will take us from the 20th to 26th of August. The coming week will be dominated by high pressure, sitting over slightly to the north of the country, bringing in winds from the easterly direction. That's going to be quite a warm wind direction in August, so plenty of dry and fine weather coming up next week. Week 2 is in agreement with the JMA. This is the 27th of August to the 2nd of September. We begin to take that high pressure away to the north and west. Maybe a little bit of a hint of retrogression. So we begin to take that high pressure away to the north and west. Still in control, so it should still be a lot of dry weather. It might be starting to turn a little bit more showery, perhaps in the south, with some low pressure around here. But I think this is still more or less a relatively dry week. It is a bit cooler though, with winds going more northeasterly as that high pressure pulls out to the northwest. Week 3 is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of September. High pressure then blocking around Greenland. So the high pressure that we've got coming up over the country like next week, eventually by early September, becomes a northern blocking feature around Greenland. Quite a deep trough of low pressure in over Scandinavia. That will pull wind into the north. So quite a cool week 3 there. First full week of September looks quite cool. And most of the set of weather is likely to be actually in the east and the northeast. And it gets a little bit worse as we go into week 4. It's the 10th to the 16th of September, still with the blocking around Greenland, and we start to bring low pressure in underneath it. So we've still got that trough over Scandinavia. That, of course, bring quite cool air in from the north. But this low coming in from the south is also threatened to bring quite a lot of rain in from off the Atlantic. So this does look like quite a cool and wet first half to September with JMA Friday today. Both the JMA and the CFS are in agreement with this, that the first half of September turns increasingly cool and potentially increasingly unsettled as well. Week 1 temperature anomaly from the 20th to 26th of August, warmer than average as you expect. High pressure bringing in those east winds. Week 2, 27th of August, 2nd of September. Bit warmer than average to our north, nearer normal for England and Wales. The anomaly is beginning to lower somewhat. We lower the anomaly again into week 3, the 3rd to the 9th of September. More or less back to average by that point. It could even be a bit cooler than average, I would have thought. Notice most parts of Northern Europe are looking really quite cool at this point, with below average temperatures. We may start to pull that in if we get enough of the northeasterly. And then week 4 is the 10th to 16th of September, and it's still sort of average, warmer than average to our west, cooler than average to our east. I reckon that's probably quite a cool first half to September though. The precipitation anomaly finally for week 1, 20th, 26th September, is drier than average in most areas, particularly to the northwest. Week 2 also looks pretty dry. It's the 27th of August to the 2nd of September. That one also looking pretty dry. Week 3 goes more unsettled. It's the 3rd to the 9th of September. Above average precipitation, particularly so in the north. And then look at this, it's week 4. Normally, by this point for precipitation, the CFS is a complete lost signal. But this is the 10th to 16th of September, and it actually looks really quite wet across most parts of the UK and Ireland. And for week 4, that is quite a strong signal, actually. So increasingly wet as we go through the first half of September, and quite cool as well. And it's like agreement between the two models also on this. So, that, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're right. They might be in agreement and they're, they're wrong. So it doesn't guarantee, just because the two models agree, it doesn't guarantee that they're right. But it is, it's quite unusual to have a cool and wet first half of September. It's normally a time we associate with an extension of summer. So a little bit different, something a little bit different here for JMA Friday this week. And we shall see, whether it verifies or not. Right, so remember, it's just a snapshot of what the models are showing. It could all look very different next week. So this is just how they look today. Any forecast beyond 5 to 7 days comes with big health warnings. Right, so that's JMA Friday done. We'll be back very shortly with your 10 to 14 day. That's going to include all of regular features. So come back for that then. But for JMA Friday for this week, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.